days ago, the Pentagon, the White House, and the Biden administration announced that they were going to be sending some high-tech drone tracking technology to New York and New Jersey to help them with their little drone problem. And it's like, on one hand, they claim that the drones don't exist. They claim that this problem doesn't exist. But on the other hand, they send high-tech drone tracking equipment to help solve the problem that they won't acknowledge exists. So they're sending very different, mixed messages here. They say one thing, but they do another. But when this news broke, a lot of people were happy. A lot of people felt relieved because this problem has been going on for a long time and no one was doing anything about it. And now, for once, it seemed as if there was some effort being put forward to stop this problem. But we were just sold the illusion. Okay? The Pentagon, the White House, the Biden administration tried to sell the American public the illusion that they were doing something to help. Because it turns out that this high-tech drone tracking equipment isn't high-tech at all. In fact, it's old and outdated. In fact, me and you could probably get our hands on this type of high-tech equipment if we wanted to. They literally sent equipment that can only track Class 1 and Class 2 drones. They sent New Jersey and New York equipment that can track the drones that you buy on Amazon for 40 or 50 bucks. They didn't send them equipment that can track military-grade drones like the drones that are flying over New Jersey and New York and elsewhere. You see, these aren't cheap little drones that are flying around. In most cases, these are big, military-grade drones, okay? Drones that your average everyday person is not going to have access to. And the Biden administration, the Pentagon, the White House, after making it a big deal, we're going to send this equipment, y'all sent them some equipment that you knew would not work. Why did they do this? Well, for one, they want to sell the illusion that they're actually helping when they're not. But also, they want local law enforcement and stuff using this equipment and not being able to track any of these drones, so then they could come out and say, hey, see, we were right. Nothing to see here. We sent you the equipment and you couldn't find anything. You're not tracking any of these drones. They're not showing up on the radars we sent you. So therefore, this is not a real problem. Therefore, everyone was wrong. We're right. Nothing to see here. They're knowingly sending equipment that they know is not going to work. So when it doesn't work, they can say, hey, this is proof that this problem doesn't exist. But the problem does exist. It's a very real problem that's already been confirmed by people within our government. A very real problem that's already been confirmed by the U.S. Coast Guard, by the U.S. military, by members of the FBI, members of law enforcement in several different states. Even NYPD detectives are saying that these drones are dropping glowing objects out of the sky. Really wild stuff here. Really wild stuff here, folks. And whatever these drones are, they're way more high-tech than whatever equipment is being sent to track them. So our government is purposely sending stuff to help that they know is not going to help. If anything, if it helps anything, it helps their narrative that nothing is going on. And that's just, it's disgusting. It's really disgusting. But the scary part to me, folks, is not that they're sending this outdated equipment that doesn't work. Yeah, that's worrisome. But the scary part is that there's not already equipment out there, already in play, already in use, to ensure that these cities are safe. I mean, after experiencing something like 9/11, New York, of all places, definitely needs drone tracking technology to make sure that no one's flying drones into freaking buildings. But guess what we learned? We learned that they don't have this technology. And even though now it's confirmed there's a problem, these mysterious drones are flying, they're still not sending them the technology they need. That's the scary part, ladies and gentlemen. It's not the outdated equipment that is being sent to so-called solve this problem. It's that a problem solver is not already in place. It lets you know that these big cities aren't as secure as you think they are. Our country isn't as secure as you think it is. It's scary. Oh, after a month and a half of drones flying over apartment buildings in Brooklyn and stuff, now you're going to send outdated equipment to try to help? So you don't got anything in place to ensure that this doesn't happen? You aren't taking any precautions to make sure one of these things ain't flying into the side of a skyscraper? Very, very concerning stuff, ladies and gentlemen. And we could try to pretend it's not happening to make ourselves feel more comfortable, but it's happening. But I'm going to go ahead and roll this news clip because a New Jersey senator was speaking out about this stuff as well. And he actually speaks out about some of this equipment that they've been sent that does not work. And after I roll this clip, I'll be right back with more thoughts as usual.
So the FAA issuing a ban on drones over key areas of New York and New Jersey as the mystery over those sightings continues. Now, local officials, they want more answers from the federal government, and they want more information. Now, Pequannock Township Mayor Ryan Hurd is among those pushing for answers. He says the drones pose an invasion of privacy to local residents. The mayor joins me now. So, Mr. Mayor, I appreciate you being here for this. You know, you've seen the drones. Do you buy the answers that you're hearing on the federal level that these are planes or personal drones?
Well, good morning, Ed, and thank you for having me on. Do I buy it? Absolutely not. See, here's the problem. You know, we are now almost 2 weeks into this since I penned the letter 2 weeks ago Sunday, and we had 21 mayors that actually signed that letter. Up until now, there's been a lot of talk. There's been a lot of posturing, but there has been no action. We still have no idea what's going on.
So Senator Richard Blumenthal said about a week and a half ago, the federal authorities should just shoot a few of them out of the sky and figure out what's going on. Do you think they need to be shot down, or some of them?
Well, that's a good question. So first, I'm going to say not by a citizen. So we're not going to go and try to shoot these things down in our backyard. We're not going to try to catch these. We're not going to try to send up a hobby drone and try to take pictures. Because again, as I've said before, the unintended consequences of this could be horrible, and we don't want that. With that said, I do expect the federal government to step up and get one of these over the ocean. Apparently, there's plenty of space that we can get this. Unfortunately, you know, last year or the year before, there was a big balloon apparently from China that went across all of America, and we didn't do that then. So I don't know if I have any faith in our current administration and current government to really step up and do anything.
Yeah, well, January 20th, that ends. So why do you think that no one can figure out where they're landing or taking off from, you know, if they've been spotted in the sky?
You know, I do think we know. I think our administration currently is absolutely useless. That's the difference between the current administration and the administration that is coming in. 2 weeks ago, Trump said that the federal government knows exactly who this is and what they're doing. And that's fine. Why don't they tell us? If it's some kind of operation to remap something or whatever, that's fine. But now we're weeks into this. And the biggest issue is this. When we're not answering the American public's questions, then you have all these conspiracy theories. And when people are seeing every single night on mainstream media and on YouTube and on X and all other social platforms, they're seeing what's going on in Syria and Ukraine. And they're saying, is that something that can happen right here in New Jersey, right here in Morris County, right here in America? We're not getting those answers.
Yeah. So are you? So you're still concerned, obviously. So what solution do you think needs to materialize with this?
Well, I need them to step up. I mean, remember, we have elected these people, and the whole idea about elected officials is, at the end of the day, they've got our back, so we can get on with life. I mean, Christmas is what, less than a week away. And right now, it should be about family. It should be about thinking of others than yourself. You know, what we're going to do for the holidays, the gatherings, the reason for the season. And yet we're not getting any answers. And I believe one of those reasons that we're not getting answers is because they want to bury it under Christmas. So this way, the American public is not thinking about it anymore. It just goes away and boom, it's gone.
Did you get an answer from your letter? And when did you last hear about federal officials? And do you expect more briefings about this before the end of the year?
At this point, I don't expect anything else, which is a shame. You know, apparently the administration has brought in technology to track and whatnot. The reality is they've brought in technology that's only capable of tracking class 1 and class 2 drones, not class 3 and class 4. These drones that we're talking about that we're seeing are large drones. They're not your typical drone. When I say drone, you typically think about something the size of your hand. These are in no way, shape, or form that. So it seems to me that it's very convenient. They're bringing the technology in that's not going to find an answer to this problem. They're going to be able to say, American public, don't believe your eyes. You're only seeing planes and stars and, 1,000 regular legally operated drones. It's plausible deniability, and we're sick of this.
Do you think the governor at some level in New Jersey needs to answer some questions related to this? Has he engaged with you?
He has engaged. Boy, he has engaged. Yes, I believe he should. With that said, I also believe it's a federal government. So I believe that both our state and our federal government is letting us down. But unfortunately, we're kind of used to that. I mean, look at what's been happening over the last 4 years. Absolutely useless these administrations are.
And we'll see what happens come mid-January. Ryan Hurd, I appreciate it, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much. And hopefully we get some answers for you and others wondering what the heck's going on up there.
Thank you, and Merry Christmas to everyone.
Merry Christmas to you.
You know, some of the local sheriff's offices and police departments in these areas of New Jersey and New York affected the most by these drones, they've established drone patrols. And they have better technology than what the Pentagon is sending to New Jersey and New York to help this issue. They've already been out here trying to chase the drones down with their helicopters, flying around, taking photos and videos of the drones with their own drones. And from what they say, these drones do not have a heat signature. And all living creatures like me and you, we give off a heat signature. Your cat that's walking around probably knocking stuff off of the shelves, he or she has a heat signature. My dog has a heat signature. When you have an object that uses an engine, usually like a car, it has a heat signature. Planes, drones, they all have heat signatures, right? But it just so happens the drones that are flying over New Jersey, these weird new mysterious drones, they're not giving off any heat signatures. That's something that local law enforcement revealed. So even if they sent better technology to track these drones, chances are they still wouldn't be able to track it. Now, they sent them old, outdated stuff that only works on cheap drones, right? On your everyday average drone that me and you can buy. They didn't send them this, advanced equipment. But even if they did send advanced equipment, chances are it wouldn't pick up or track these drones on radar because these drones are not showing up on flight radars. So they're not registered. They're not showing up on any flight radar. And they don't have any heat signature. Now, if that thing's got an engine, it should have a heat signature. Unless somehow it's flying around with some type of coolant system or some type of technology I'm unaware of. So that's the reality of what we're dealing with. When I see the drones, I don't think it's like the most high-tech equipment I've ever seen. But they're obviously using something that we don't really know of. And when I say we, I mean people like me and you. I'm sure the government is aware of, different technologies and what have you. But no heat signature at all. And they're sending them drone tracking equipment that can only track down cheap drones from Amazon. And they expect them to be able to solve the problem with that. It's not going to happen. Which lets you know they don't want the problem being solved. At least they don't want them solving the problem. So what could the problem be? I guess we're all just going to sit here and wonder. But as I said earlier and as the guy said here, it's clear as day. They want to drag this out. They think that the holidays will make people forget. And they're probably right. A lot of people will move on and forget. But if these things are continuing to buzz and fly in the sky over people's heads, I'm sure they'll continue to point it out. But I do think that some of the activity has died down a little bit, at least in New Jersey, but it's spreading in other areas. And the fact that the activity is dying down in New Jersey, they're trying to use that as like, hey, see, nothing to see here. You know, oh, look, there's not much is happening in New Jersey right now, right? While they ignore that, oh, wait, the drones are now flying in Ohio, and now they're in Kansas, and now they're in Utah. So I expect that we'll see more cities and more states invaded by drones soon. And I know that this equipment isn't going to solve the problem. And I don't know if the problem will ever be solved. I think that there's a chance that they just try to just normalize it and move on with life. And we're already seeing signs of that. But you let me know what you think down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.